Well, welcome back, everyone. My name is Zach, Sawyer Paddles and Oars, and this is a very powerful and long-awaited special interview we're going to have with Captain Chris from Captains for Clean Water. We've been fortunate enough to share a little time with Chris and see if we can bring a little light to what we have going on our campaign for Captains for Clean Water. So thanks, Chris, for joining us. Can you just introduce yourself and tell folks a little bit about what you're doing with Captains for Clean Water?
Yeah, thank you, Zach. I appreciate the opportunity. Captain Chris Whitman, I'm one of the founders of Captains for Clean Water. We're a nonprofit that typically focuses on Everglades restoration in Florida. However, as many of you know, we were recently hit ground zero with Hurricane Ian. And that storm has devastated our coastal community and has really had a massive impact on the fishing guides in that community, folks like myself. And so we have kind of shifted some of our efforts and allocated some of our resources to try to empower and give a pathway for fishing guides to help our community rebuild. And so we created the Hurricane Ian Guide Relief Fund, and we are going to be using that to basically provide jobs for fishing guides to help with hurricane relief, whether it's debris cleanup or water testing or fishing trips for first responders and impacted people that could benefit from, a little break for mental health and things that they've experienced. So really trying to provide a way to create jobs to guides that have been impacted, that benefit the community and helps our community rebuild.
Very much, and much appreciated. That particular program model that you're talking about right there is very similar to what we put in play in 2020 when guides pretty much didn't realize that they could qualify for gig working, PPP, payroll protection plans and that kind of thing. So that really, drives to exactly what we've been trying to be part of with the Guide Relief Program. And then also, that this program that we've put together is the Artisan Series, which is really an oar with a cause. And we've really got a program that can kind of resonate with guides because it will actually benefit guides, and guides really would like to win a pair of our oars. So that's a program that we've tied together really nicely. And I think a lot of folks around the Pacific Northwest can kind of relate to having to rebuild after big disasters. So maybe you talk a little bit about just some of the economic impacts and what this is really affecting this rebuild of community that, you guys are undertaking.
Yeah. I think it is really important efforts like what you're doing to raise that longer term support, because when we see communities hit with a natural disaster, whether it's a hurricane or a wildfire or tornado or earthquake, what we see is that initial rush of support, that initial wave of the kind of the rescue and relief where it's literally rescuing and then water and food and gasoline and things like that. But the reality of it is the bigger struggle and the longer term challenge for those communities comes in the months and years to follow those disasters. And after the news goes away, after those initial few weeks and showing the devastation to those communities, the people on the ground there still have a very long road ahead of them. And when it comes to fishing guides and that industry, our industry, we are selling an experience in the places that are special where we live. And when a community is devastated to the degree that Southwest Florida has been devastated from Hurricane Ian, the ability to sell that experience is almost non-existent. Mainly not just the fisheries impact, but the infrastructure that bring the people here, the hotels, the restaurants, the rental cars that all the things, the homes, everything that is necessary, that is the base that brings people here in order for them to experience these places is not intact, and it'll be a long time before it is. And so what we saw as the greatest challenge is, how do we support our fishing guide community after the news is gone, after the primary attention and focus has been lifted. And that's what we're trying to do here. And that's really where the support from Sawyer and Ed Anderson and our fishing community across the country is really going to play a big role here. And I think it doesn't matter whether you guide in the Everglades or whether you guide in Montana or Alaska or anywhere else. You are connected by the reason that you do that, and it's the love of the places that you do it in, and the ability to share those places with others. And so there's no better community to support the guide community than the guide and fishing community themselves.
Absolutely. I could not agree more. And that's really one of those reasons that we want people to get engaged here. This campaign for Captains for Clean Water, a lot of you have seen us explaining it online. Really straightforward. Go to either one of our websites, click the donate button. By donating some money to Captains for Clean Water, that gets you entered into a giveaway drawing for a one-of-a-kind pair of square tops, one with artwork from Ty Halleck and one with artwork from Ed Anderson. And you can only win those by making a donation to Captains for Clean Water. So thank you very much for tuning in. Remember, be patient, be kind, and we'll see you on the river.